Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the She Hustles podcast. It is your girl, Samantha Renée. I am so excited to be back for season 3. So excited, guys. As you know, this theme, if you don't know, I've been sharing it through the other episodes, but this theme this season is loving thyself. And with that being said, there are ingredients to loving thyself to make the perfect recipe for getting yourself healed and in the right mind to be able to move forward with life and do great things. And so I am just so excited about this episode. This episode is actually very near and dear. I know I always say that, but I truly mean it. It is truly near and dear to me. This episode is titled, Check on Your Strong Friends. Let that marinate, guys. Let that marinate. Checking on your strong friends. So many times, especially as women, we take it for granted that we are the nurturers. We are the ones who make sure everybody's okay. And sometimes when people see that, they're like, oh, she's so strong. She's so brave. She got this, whatever. And sometimes we take that for granted and we don't check on them. And sometimes it becomes too late. And y'all know I record at my home, so forgive the noise. But anywho, with all that being said, I just really wanted to find a great dynamic duo, best friends who have been best friends for over 20 years, all the way from middle school, guys, middle school. I wanted to bring them on just to have a real conversation to see what that looks like, because when you hear that word 20 years, life happens in 20 years. Am I right? Yeah. So life happens, we grow. We're not the same person we were 20 years ago. And so there's going to be ups and downs and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes we may lose touch. Sometimes we may be overly in touch and we might need a break. So I really wanted to get into that, checking on your strong friends and knowing that don't take that person for granted, because everybody needs to be checked on, whether they're the strong friend or the more emotional friend. Check on them, because mental health is a real thing. Now you guys are like, please stop talking so we can hear these guests. I know. I'm coming.
Miss Tiffany Thomas. Tiffany Thomas is no stranger to the She Hustles podcast family. Tiffany has come on and shared her testimony and beautiful insight on what it is like to be a mom, a wife, and an entrepreneur. We welcome her back. Miss Tiffany is a business owner as well as a wife and a mother of 3. She owns her own business, y'all. It's called Roseland Events and Planning. It's amazing, and she is so very talented. And today she invited her best friend of 20 years, Miss J. Way. Miss J. Way is a self-love soul coach, and her goal and desire is to help women tap into their greatness and authenticity, all while being unapologetically transparent. I know her as Fly Infinite Soul Coaching and Fitness Training. Guys, she is amazing inside and out. Let's hear their story.
So let me not hold it any longer. Let me get these young ladies on and let's talk about checking on your strong friend. Miss Jessica, Miss Tiffany. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, my love. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I am wonderful. Y'all know we're silly. And obviously I know them because we're already you already know. The She Hustles podcast is a place where we're not formal. We're informal. We're having girl chat, and we're happy to allow people just to view it and see it and get inspired by it. So I'm so happy to have my girls on today. How are y'all doing?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Did I skip anything?
No, I was just going to say, when you reached out, I was, and you was like, okay, Tiff, pick a topic because I want you on season 3. And I seen the topic. I was like, oh, nah. I got to call my bestie for this one. It's not my story to tell. Like when we get into the nitty gritty of it, you'll see why. But I just want to say congratulations to you and your growth on the She podcast and your whole thing that you're doing. I've seen it from 100 followers and now you're at 16, over 16K. So
thank you.
I love that. So proud of you. So great. When you put the gas on, you like, Lord, let's go. Here we go. So I'm so proud of you.
Oh, Thank you.
I love that.
No.
Good.
We just started. You know, it only takes me 2 seconds to cry. Okay.
It's a whole domino effect, girl. It's that time of the month. I'm right there with you. We all gonna cry.
That's gonna be all episodes.
I love it. Listen, it comes once a month. You know, I feel like we get like 5 days to be normal, and then the rest is just PMS and misery. You know.
Facts. I don't be
Maybe 6. Maybe 6. No, I don't know. Oh my gosh. So I'm just so excited. I want to just get into it. I just want to just dive in if y'all are okay with that. Y'all good with that?
Love it.
Okay. So my first question is, describe what role you play in this friendship.
Look, I'm already nervous, you know? Oh, Lord.
What's your role? Who wants to go first? I'm curious.
I let you go first.
Okay, I'm gonna let me go first. Woo! What role do I play in this friendship?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would I call myself the strong friend? I don't know. I think I might call me the strong one. See, I'm about to get emotional. Oh, Jesus. This is so awful. But yeah, I think I'm going to call myself the strong friend.
Okay. I feel it. So, Tiff, what would you call yourself in this relationship?
In this relationship, I would call myself. Well, see, it's okay. So, I don't know what to call myself in this relationship because me and Jess, like you said, have been together. We'll just say together for 20 years. So, Jessica's seen me go from the high school friend, the college friend, the mom friend, and keep it going. So, it's one of the things just like I'm the friend that if she really needs to talk or really needs one of those like, let me just tell you the truth, and if it hurts, it hurts. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's what I feel like I give to Jess, but you'll see as the questions get deeper. And right now, she's my rock. Like right now, she tells me like we flip the roles. So I'm just like a kid in the candy store when it comes to this relationship now. I'm like, here,
I love that. I love that. And I love how you say flip the roles. So even with that, when you say flip the roles, would you say that through the years that you guys in certain seasons have flipped roles and been what each other needed in that season?
Yes and no.
Okay. That's right.
Jessica has always been a supporter of anything that I've done. She never missed a beat in any, like when I say anything, like my 23rd or like 23rd or 24th birthday or something like that. She drove up by herself from Jersey for the night, when my uncle died. She literally drove to Maryland for just that and drove back. So what I tell you, like, don't nobody compare.
Oh, wow. That's huge. Yeah. That is huge. I'm sorry. I'm talking to y'all, but I'm also trying to keep my family in line because this conversation is so good. I love that. That's huge that she would even do that without you even, asking or calling, that she just knew that you needed her in that time. I love that.
She's not as quiet in real life.
I know.
And Sam, you know her, so you already know the energy that she gives.
I think she's taking it in. I think she's waiting for her question that she's was wanting. So I'm gonna keep going.
I'll keep going. A disclaimer, though. After this interview of listeners, she's not up for sale for a best friend. She's not a best friend. This is not let's
put them on notice, Jeff. Okay.
But if you need help, in your life, she's the girl. She's my best friend, okay?
Let them know. There's nothing wrong with being territorial, okay? Because I am right. Especially her being a soul. Let me get this right. A self-love soul coach.
Yes.
Because that's deep. Yeah, you better hold on to your friend, child, because I'll be like, hi, Jess, don't tell Tiffany I'm on the phone.
This already know when she be like, "This my friend who?"
Like, oh, to be in a
Look, she ain't no friend of ours.
Sound about right.
I loved it.
Sound
So,
about right.
would you say that do you feel that your friendship is give and take?
It wasn't always like that. Like currently, like now,
Okay.
it's to that point. But at one point, it was more on my side because I can always only speak for me. It was more I was giving. I was more of a giver.
Got you. Were you? Is that just your natural? It's just your natural personality. You're the giver. Is that? Do you thrive off of giving versus receiving?
I drive off of giving, empowering, making sure that a person is doing well.
Okay.
I just like loving on people. Like I just love that.
So for you, would you say that's like food for your soul? Is that, you know what I mean? Because some people do that, but they don't realize that they're doing it and that it feeds them. But when they learn it, that's what that makes them better. It's kind of like, how do I explain it? I feel like once they realize that that's their calling, they kind of just run with it and thrive with it. But until you kind of learn that space, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're kind of like in limbo. So would you say that's where you feed off of that? Is it something positive that you love to do? Or would you prefer a give and take more? Does that make sense?
I wouldn't say that I drive off of it. I feel like it enhances me.
Okay. I like that. That's a better word.
I already work on being a better version of myself every day. So by me doing for others just amplifies what it is that I'm trying to do and that I am already. So that's what I would say. And receiving is a plus. You know what I mean? Like I don't look to, but once I get it, I'm very, very appreciative of it, but I don't look for it.
Don't look for it. Girl, you didn't even know what you don't even know. You're speaking gems as you're talking. You don't even know. Okay. I hear you though. I love that because you said it's just an enhancement.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So for somebody out there who is kind of like, I'm always giving, but when they receive, they're so appreciative of it. Let that know that that's okay. You know what I mean? Maybe that's God, where God has you in your life, that you need to be giving in this season and just giving and pouring into others, because when the other season comes, you will reap your harvest, And like you said, it will just enhance you. Girl, I'm listening. See, I'll break it down. I'm hearing what you're putting down. I'm trying to be serious, guys. It's really hard.
There's no wins in that.
It's not. I'm just silly. So when you have had a major life moment, good or bad, who do you share it with? Do you go to Tiffany? Do you feel like you guys are in that place where you can go to each other? Or do you feel like she's got too much going on, let me share with somebody else? Or do you feel like she's your person? I'm going to start with Jessica first.
I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry. It's all good. She's that for me now. And she was like before. But there was like a middle part that she wasn't.
Right.
And I needed her to be.
Were you guys able to talk that through? How did you get to this space now where you can do that, where she can be that person? You know what I mean? Was it like I'm going through and I need my friend. I need to just call her and be straight up. Did it get to that kind of point?
It got to the point that I had a miscarriage.
Wow. Jess, okay. I'm trying to cry with you, but you're trying to take me down, and that's okay. I'll be with you.
Sorry.
I'm with you. No, please, let me tell you something. This is the one place where you do not apologize, because there's somebody right now who is going through the same thing that you literally just shared, and they have nobody to talk to. You know what I mean? They have nobody to even feel like they can call a friend. So the fact that you were able to even share that here with me, thank you. Thank you for your braveness, because I know that's not easy. That's not something easy to talk about. And I don't like when people generalize it. So know that my prayers are with you. And I am sorry for your loss, Jess.
Thank you.
I really am. I'm sorry. Jessica. We talked about that before.
I'm more open with my name now, so you can call me Jessica or Jess.
With Jess saying that, how about you? How about you? And I can repeat it as well.
It was a time where it had to be a sense of ownership when we had that hard conversation. And for me, I had to own that, because if that was the moment I knew that this was my friend who always gave to me, but I would never give her anything back. This is the friend that her life, every time I come home, I would make it a point to see her, but it was only when I came home. It wasn't like I was picking up the phone or this, that, and the third or anything like that. So even when I came home and we did have these open conversations, we've had open conversations about, her life and, her catching me up and stuff like that. I will always tell her that you're not alone, like call me, it's okay. Like, I guess I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I live in Michigan, I live in North Carolina, wherever I'm going, but I'm always a phone call away. But then on the flip side, I was that friend that was a no news is good news kind of friend.
Woo.
So it was just one of those things. It's just like, she's going through all of this, and I had no clue. It was when I was home, not the last time, but when I was home and she found out, she was pregnant all in the third, like my jaw dropped. I was like, holy crap. Like, you're pregnant? Oh my God. Like, I was so stunned. I didn't know whether to cry or to hug her or like what.
Right.
It was still that gap of not connecting with my friend. Like,
sure.
So it was that missing part where I was like, I'm totally excited for her. And I'm like in shock, like, oh my God, my best friend's having a baby. Like,
yeah.
And then I'm really, like, me mentally, I shut down. And then the next time I heard from my friend was, she texted me and was like, I had a miscarriage. And after that, I didn't even reach out back to her. So it was a time in my life where my mental health was just not there. And then for me to still get over that barrier to be like, you need to be there for your friend. She just told you she had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Why aren't you there for your friend?
Right.
That was where it clicked to me. Like, I'm not the friend that I said that I tell people that I am to her. I'm not the friend that she can come to whenever she has the hardest time or whatever like that. I'm not being that friend for her. So now I feel like after that situation happened, and we went through our conversation and we went through and we're still going through it, I think, just like,
of course,
we're still like giving each other the side eye, like, is this okay? Is this not?
How far can I go?
Am I still here or no? Like, is this? So it's just one of those things. It's just like, we're learning each other all over again.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I love where she is as a woman. I love where she is, like, in this season of her life, because it's a brand new person.
Yeah.
And I'm just like in awe of what she does and how she moves about, about the whole situation with me and her. And because and I told her straight up, I said, Jessica, if you had done that to me, if I had a miscarriage and you went and ghost on me, I washed my hands of you. I wouldn't have called you. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have You would have reached out 1,000 times. I would have came to Jersey 1,000 times and you would have never known. But because I think Jess, I don't know, I can't speak for her, but I know for me, when I realized that, when she hit me, it was like, yo, we need to talk. I was like, it's now or never.
Like, this is it.
This is it. I'm going to put my heart out there. And if Jess is like, I'm gone, deuces, I have to accept that. Even though I wasn't going to accept it, because I didn't make her be my friend again.
You'll be my friend, girl.
You're going to be my friend.
Okay.
And I think everybody goes through those seasons when you have those friends that are childhood friends and you move away and, you develop a different lifestyle and you forget, like, this is my root. Like, this is my person. Like,
first of all, thank you guys for your transparency, because that's real talk. That's real talk. Like you said, for the gram, we put all these pictures up. People see this one lifestyle and they're like, oh my gosh, we're best friends. Everything's perfect. But we don't know the whole story. You know what I mean? And things, just to get that picture, they don't know all the life story and all the events and all the things, major things that have happened, you know, in your lives. So the fact that you guys could be that transparent, thank you. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. And I can absolutely relate to, you know, like you said, moving away, you know, becoming a mom, becoming a wife, you know, and being pregnant and becoming a life coach and all other things that you've gone through. Are you engaged, Jess? Let me make sure I'm right.
I am.
I was so scared. I was like, you idiot. You know what I mean? That's like if somebody's like that. We'll tell that later. Anyway, all these life events, all these life events happen. You know what I mean? And like when the person, I guess, is not necessarily in your face, you know what I mean? It's sometimes you got to be intentional. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to be intentional with reaching out to them. You know what I mean? And even with, you know, my best friend, we had our times as well. And I love it because we're in a space now where I may not talk to her for a month, but when I talk to her, it's like I talked to her yesterday. You know what I mean? It's that kind of place. And that's how it should be, you know, but it takes time and maturity and real conversations. Because when we're like, oh, girl, I'm good, and you being kiki, but you have like, you know, this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you, da, da, da. You ain't being real with your friend. You ain't being real with your friend, okay? And then when you walk away, you're the one hurting because it's like, man, I really needed my friend. You know what I mean? God is amazing, and God is awesome. We talk to him, you know, like I talk to God every day. People probably think I'm crazy because I'll be like talking to God like, you know, on my level. But at the same time, that conversation with your best friend, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? You can't beat that. Like you said, Tiff, like she's your root. You know what I mean? And new friends come and they're great. But when you have that root and you have that foundation, it's so hard. It's so important to water it and to spend time with it and to check on each other. You know, okay, I'm doing so well. I did not cry because the tears, I mean, it was sitting like heavy. I'm like, all right, longer blinks. They're really talking in here. I'm supposed to be the G, you know? Okay. All right.
Would your daughter say, Sam, I'm a G, I don't cry?
Yeah. Pray for her, okay? She's a whole nother type of animal, okay? She keeps me on my toes. I think God is a comedian because I am very sensitive. My daughter can have sensitive moments, but she is gangster. She's not lying. She's gangster. It's hilarious. But anyhow, would you say you've been good judges of characters of other friends who come along the way who maybe try to take that best friend slot?
Question correctly. So what do you mean by that? Like,
so, like you said, along the way, you guys have been best friends. She's your root. And people come along the way and they are here for a season. In those seasons, have you been burned by people? Have you been a good judge of character? Meaning, like when you chose new friends or those friendships have come along, do you think you were a good judge of character in that season?
I think I have been a very good judge of character because I'm really a vibe and energy type of young lady, and hence young lady because I am young. So like I am a good. I'm good at judging, and I know who is what. So I always tell my clients that people that come in your life is like a book. Everybody's a character. You know, everybody plays a role in a chapter, and not everybody's supposed to come over. At one point, the main character is always going to be you in the book, right? Which is me. I'm always going to be the main character in the book. So what I do, whatever strongness that I have, I gotta continue being me at the end of my natural self. Who comes and goes is not a character of me, it's of them. So what that means that I allowed you there, but I learned from you. Because everybody crossed your path for a reason, never just by accident. I don't believe in coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, divine. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I already knew the best friend slot was locked. Like I wasn't even trying to replace the best friend slot. Good. Can we block her, please? Because she just too animated. Like, I can't even have a conversation. So, like, the best friend slot was locked. as far as the female version. I do have a guy who's a friend, but whatever.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't trying to replace her if that was the case, regardless of our relationship, regardless of near or far and where she was. I just knew that she was the root, is a word we use. She was my root. However, right now it's not her season or me and her season. Should we be able to revisit that? That's cool. We'll go ahead and do that, but it's going to be a whole new setup, which is what we're doing. We're reestablishing and relearning each other. You know what I'm saying? I always tell you, I never want to go backwards because that's not where we're going. I want to build a foundation currently, and that's what we're doing. So, like, yes, I never wanted to replace her as far as the best friend, but I kept growing, and when I grew, people came along. Some stayed, some did. But it is what it is. That's the only way I was able to maneuver through a lot of stuff that was going on in my life when I needed her. Does that make sense? Because sometimes I put you in your place to hold you down because whatever reason.
She's in her season. Yeah, you're in that season.
Exactly.
You have a response, Tiffany?
She said it perfectly when it comes to me and her. Like when after high school, I went to college. And from college, I became a cheerleader. And so, of course, I developed these college friends, these college girlfriends. So I call them, my best friends, too, because we went through a whole life cycle of college. But I don't mix them with her. That's just my style. I've always done that, even when it comes down to, like, family members, like cousins or anything like that. I have this group of friends, I have this group of friends, or I have this cousin, or I have this cousin. And I just keep my relationships very separate unless like I need them to come together. Yeah. But it was, Jess put it in the words that I would have said, like when we were, in high school and elementary, you can go down the hallway without seeing one without the other. Like it was what it was. And then when we moved, we literally became different people. But when we came back together, it was like, I seen her yesterday. And then, as we became adult life happens, and you go through your own stuff and all that in the third. So that's why she the rock of the relationship.
I asked that because I feel like sometimes when we're missing our friends or missing our root, we go and seek people who kind of remind us of them. And we're kind of like, it's kind of unfair to that person, but it's almost like you're searching for something in that person that's really in Jessica or in Tiffany. You know what I mean? And sometimes in those instances, you get burned, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to create them and make them Jessica or Tiffany when you just need to go to Jessica or Tiffany. So hopefully that would make sense. But that's why I was kind of asking that, because even children who grow up without a father, you know what I mean? They look in men or other people for that relationship. And unfortunately, more times than less, you get disappointed. And so that's why I ask that kind of question, just because go back to your friends. You know what I mean? Go back to the root. You know what I mean? Have an honest conversation. Put the pride on the shelf, because pride is such a crippling thing. My hand is raised. There we go. My hand is raised. Can you see it? Because I struggle with that. Because people see this one image, you know what I mean? I want to uphold that image. And it's okay when your image is tarnished. We all go through things. And so that's why I asked that kind of question. It probably came out funky, but in my brain, it was still churning. As y'all were talking, I was like, yes, that's what I mean.
It's funny that you say that, because Jess literally is my friend I go to if I need a hearty, from the belly laugh. Like when we just get together, the laughter does not stop. And sometimes that's what you need. And it's just like, it's these different things that she brings to my life. And I'm just like, I need it right now. Or like, even on text messages, like we die laughing on text messages. And it's just like one of those things, like I knew I couldn't lose her. So that's why I made her my firstborn Lavender's godmother. Because I was like, you're definitely not going nowhere. So if you don't,
you're stuck.
If I leave this earth before time comes, but don't play. And I knew she was that person in my life that if anything ever would happen to me, God forbid, please, Lord, don't strike me down to mine now.
Right.
And like my parents couldn't do it, and or like my husband needed that extra support. Jess, I know for a fact, even in this season in our lives, Jess would stop anything that she's doing and be like, "Okay, give her to me for the weekend, or I'm coming and whatever." And I knew what I was doing when I
smart.
This ain't going nowhere. She been like, she been married and they ain't even know it.
I love
that. We'll just borrow her for the rest of the life. Babies.
Forever.
Babies in the world. The evidence that. She been married. She been locked down.
I love, if y'all don't feel the love, I don't know what the podcast you're listening to. I'm just like trying to be like a little kid, like, I want to be in here too.
I know, to be continued. You didn't think we were just going to give you the whole episode this week. You gotta share it with a friend. And come back next Tuesday, July 5th, for part 2 of Checking on Your Strong Friends. I'll see you there.